I need my glasses for this. Probably a bit strange to say welcome, but I'll say it again. Welcome and good morning, everybody. It's really nice to see you all here this morning. I love it. Sorry? They're here. We don't care now. And when they arrive, we'll give them lines. I will not be late for my first performance. Okay, but we're going to hold up. So what I'll do is, while they're setting up, because they're going to come on, what I'll do is I'll do the housekeeping stuff. A little bit, before everybody comes on this morning, as they give their speeches, I'll tell you a little bit about them, individuals, as they come on to do their speeches. But for myself, I'm Peter Floody, for those that don't know, and I am the Principal Community Services Officer with the Council's Culture and Leisure Services. And as you know by now, I will be introducing the speakers this morning, and any other off-the-rack ad-libs that we have to do. All right, but please support us, because Chris has been at it a lot longer than I have, because he's a lot older than I am. But myself, I was being born and dragged up in court. Who wrote this? That's Chris Stevenson. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be one of the first to present in this magnificent auditorium, which I also have been led to believe will double as my office. That's what I heard. My desk will be just here. But first of all, we have to do the housekeeping. The fire alarm, on the serious side, is a high-pitched noise, not dissimilar to Chris's singing, and apparently it cannot be mistaken. In the event of the fire alarm sounding, you must leave the building by the nearest fire exit point. There will be stewards on hand to direct you to the assembly point, which is between the walkway for the pool and the cube, which is opposite the taxi rank. So if you don't come from Corby, you're probably none the wiser than what you were when I first started reading it. But just follow the person in front of you. Mobile phones. If anybody's got a mobile phone, can you please turn it off? Well done. Toilets. I didn't hear that.
They don't work in here anyway.
Who's that? You always get one clever one, don't you? Okay, could the stewards around, could we evict that heckler, please? First time to be thrown out of the corps. The toilets. Now, the toilets are available on all floors, and you cannot miss the signage. Has anybody been to the toilet yet? Have you seen the signs? They're huge. They're actually bigger than I am. And it's on the door. And I wish somebody had told me beforehand, because I thought it was a queue. I came that close to wetting myself. I'm not joking. But it was only that the door opened and somebody came out and I realised that this individual was actually attached to the door. Are we ready for Wood Newton now? They're here? Well, we'll carry on. What we'll do is I'm going to ask Councillor Fawcett, Leader of the Council, to say a few words very shortly before I tell you a little bit about Pat. Pat was born in Scotland. She moved to Corby in 1969 and has been a councillor since May 1999. After a time as deputy leader, she became leader of the council in January 2005 to the present day. This building is an example of Pat's determination and enthusiasm in making regeneration and improvements in the borough a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Councillor Pat Fawcett, leader of Corby Borough Council.
Thank you, everybody. Before we start, is Councillor Pengelly about? Yeah. Can you... Councillor Pengelly, can you come to the front for a minute, please? Councillor Pengelly, Deputy Leader of Corby Borough Council, he's done so much work to get today to happen as it has. He was sat in the theatre on his own last night. He was moving chairs around. He has done so much, and I can't thank him enough, and I think you would like to thank him as well. person that's missing is one of the officers, Peter Griggs, who was overseeing the Cube, the building of the Cube. And unfortunately, Peter, I don't know whether he slipped 2 discs or 1, but he was flat on his back the last I heard. So I'd like to say, someone pass on the message. Thank you, Peter. We're sorry you couldn't make today, because if you're a special projects manager, you want to see your special project. And unfortunately, he's laying on the floor, I believe, at home, reading books. So, Peter, and I'm just so proud to be stood here. Unfortunately, the first speech made in this theatre was of a delay, and I hope that's not a sign of things to come. What's happened in Corby, I think, is spectacular. We are a small town, a small Labour-run town that nobody thought would get anywhere. We were a run-down 60s town, and we're certainly not that anymore. Now I'm going to upset the rest of Northamptonshire, which I like to do now and again. We are a jewel in the crown in Northamptonshire. We are no longer that run-down 60s town. And I think the other thing that used to be said about Corby, and certainly if I got visitors coming to Corby, it was things like, watch your car, you won't have wheels when you leave. All those sort of comments. And what they were about was putting us down all the time. And then suddenly we became a council that thought, no, we're not going to be the victim. We quietly, and if you notice, we very quietly planned and built Corby up. Catalyst Corby at the time, and I'm sure we worked with some quangos, and maybe we weren't meant to, but we did, because they were bringing money into the town. And we'll have a coffee with anybody that brings money into the town, because Corby wasn't working on its own as a council. We worked in partnership with lots of people. And God help us, look at us. We are the jewel in the crown. And I think everybody, the community, all the agencies, all working in partnership, have to pat themselves on the back, because, believe it or not, this is just the start. This is just a taster. You have no idea what the next bit is, but I can assure you it's going to be a next bit. Now, I don't know whether Peter introduces the mayor or I do. Peter, where are you? Oh, so I'm not going to have a long speech, just thank you everybody. We're no longer a run-down Corby town, are we? We are a fantastic place.
Thank you, Pat. What we're going to do now is I think we're going to introduce you to Wood Newton, which is, I've got to go back to that one now, haven't I? A learning community. This building is certainly going to be enjoyed by many, many future generations, and it is very, very fitting that the very first to perform on this stage are Corby's children. They communicate with other countries and learn about the Commonwealth. They visited Westminster Abbey on Commonwealth Day and saw the Queen, and they were the biggest school represented in the country. Therefore, to start this morning's proceedings, please put your hands together and welcome the children from Wood Newton, a learning community.
We learn in Commonwealth Club to work as a team and how to communicate to the other 54 countries. This club is very big. We have around 50 to 60 members, and to be given a chance to come to this fabulous opening for this lovely building was a fantastic opportunity for this club. We think Corby with Newton is the biggest and most variety club in the county. We're going to do some drumming now, and these are the flags of the 54 countries.